This video is to let y'all know what's going on with your Norfolk Prosecutor's Office, the judges, and Norfolk Police Department. There's a lot of corruption. Corruption is running rampant in the city of Norfolk. And the most corrupt division is the Vice and Narcotic Division in the Norfolk Police Department. The Norfolk Police Department set me up back in the 80s for a burglary charge that I had nothing to do with, to get me to work for them. Okay, this was, I don't know if it was Vice and Narcotics or not, because I can't remember, it's been so long ago. But they set me up for a burglary that I had nothing to do with to get me to work for them. Okay, and I was thinking they want me to inform on them, but that wasn't the case. They wanted me to get money for them, okay? So I've been getting money for the Norfolk Police Department ever since the 90s, okay? It started out in Crime Line. We were getting Crime Line money, saying that we were solving homicides for $1,000. Every homicide is worth $1,000 in Crime Line cash. The guy that I used to go to get this money from was Chris Sproul at the Virginia Power Company. And then he went to the Bank of Hampton Roads, is where they transferred to. Norfolk Homicide will give me a number and say I solved this homicide, and for me to go get the money and split the money with Norfolk Homicide Division. Okay? One of the detectives is still in prison, but that's another story. Once they could trust me with giving them the money from Crime Line cash, we worked our way up to different steps to getting guys charged with Schedule number 2, Schedule number 1 substance sales, which is narcotics violations, okay? The system will work like, if you got caught selling drugs and you knew who I was, you would come to me and tell me you got charges. And I would tell you, don't worry about getting an attorney. Let me know who the prosecutor is, and I'll get back with you. Okay, my contact down in homicide will run his information, find out everything about him, find out all his prior charges, and will come to me with an amount to get him off these narcotic charges. I was doing this for 20 years. I was getting everybody out of jail. People that were wanted for probation violations on the run, people that were wanted for selling drugs, I would get them out of jail. They would go to jail, be processed, booked, and be out on the street. Okay? That's how it worked. And they had to keep their cells clean until this case is over with. Because if they got caught again, there was nothing I could do for them. Now, I did numerous people, got them out of jail, okay? And I was paying numerous people, okay? Some of the prosecutors, one prosecutor in mind that I was paying was Brent Johnson. And Greg Underwood knew it. Phil Evans knew it, okay? Phil Evans was the go-to guy to get people out of jail that had narcotic charges. We would take people from the DEA, we would take people from the FBI, and we would get these people out. Because solving a homicide in any case that you have other than a crime of violence took priority. So if you were caught for selling drugs and we said that you solved the homicide, people paid attention. You got first-rate service, okay? So we got you out of prison. We got you out of jail. It took money, but we got you out of jail. I've taken thousands of dollars to the POC. I would go in the interview room. Detectives would stand by at the window to make sure nobody was coming. Signal this for me to give them the money. I would sit in the back of the POC, and I would give money to police officers in the cars, in the back of the POC. I would take people that were wanted for homicides to the back of the POC because the media was up front. Mind you, these people were innocent, but they were still wanted for homicide charges. Greg Underwood is a prosecutor with the Norfolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office. Okay, he knew a lot of people were innocent, but chose to prosecute people anyway for certain charges. Okay, Brent Johnson, he's a Norfolk Commonwealth Attorney's prosecutor. He also does National Guard service on the weekends. I will meet with them at Sam's Club in Chesapeake and give them money. Detective Ford was my go-to guy in homicide. Detective Ford go-to guy was Brent Johnson or either Phil Evans in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. We were doing this for years, ever since the 90s. We were getting people out of prison for years. And the city, the reason I did this is because I was forced into it from the beginning. But then I started making money. So, it was okay with me. I'm not violating the law, I thought, which I was, but I didn't think I was. They were violating their oath of that badge to uphold the law and do things correctly, which never happens. Vice and narcotics is one of the most corrupt divisions in the police department. I paid officers like Officer Ballard, Officer T.C. Williams. They all took my money. They all took my money. And when the feds came after me, they scattered like roaches. When I was arrested for interstate commerce violation, Brent Johnson met me down at the federal building at ATF for me to keep my mouth shut. Okay, for me to keep my mouth shut. Okay, I did keep my mouth shut, but when they turned the tables on me and tried to make me feel like I'm the one that's doing this, and y'all know, I can't get people out of jail without a contact inside. I would go in front of judges and fight with prosecutors, and the judge would side with me, and people would walk, would come out of there. I was all over in Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, doing this. And I loved doing it because I knew how crooked the system was, how corrupt the system was. I would sit in roll call and listen to them target black people in the projects. Bowling Park, Roberts Park, Moulton Park, Grandy Park. Now, they were called parks back then. I don't know what they called now, but they were called parks back then. Okay? They would target black people in those areas, knowing that if an officer harasses a person twice, it's a violation of their constitutional rights. Okay, it's a civil rights violation. The officer cannot violate you or harass you twice once he's arrested you the first time. What I would see is officers violating the Terry frisk. They can't ask you for your ID unless you are suspected of committing a crime. They can't go in your pockets without you being arrested. It's called a violation of the Terry frisk. Okay? I would see all of this. A lot of things that went on, they knew about. I was in Norfolk Circuit Court one day in front of Judge Rutherford's courtroom, standing outside talking to an attorney named Jeffrey Monroe Halleck. Rutherford came outside the courtroom and told us if this guy was in his courtroom, he would have already been convicted. This is before any evidence was heard, before anything happened. That's how I knew the system was biased against blacks. Prosecutors would try very hard to get in front of Judge Rutherford. And this is before they did a poll to where you don't know what judge you're going in front of now. But back then, prosecutors would pick the judges that they were going in front of. And that was unfair. One of the most lenient judges in the circuit court was Judge Morrison. He was one of the most lenient judges. You had Judge Poston. You had Judge Rutherford. Even Judge Fulton was harsh on a lot of people. And these judges knew the system was stacked against us. They knew that the officers were lying most of the time, because I was sitting in the courtroom and charges that should have been dismissed stayed. I didn't understand that. These people saw me in circuit court every day because I was there every day with the people that I was getting out of jail. Like I said, back to vice and narcotics. Most of their 95% of vice and narcotics searches are illegal. But they lie on the paperwork. They lie to the magistrates to get certain warrants to get into areas they know they couldn't ordinarily get into. I know this because I'm inside. I'm so far inside, I knew what officers were getting a divorce. I knew what officers were cheating on each other. I knew the cover-up of Officer Seneca Darden. Officer Barry Gordon shot and killed Seneca Darden in Ghent, and they covered it up. I knew this because I'm there. I'm inside. I know the whole situation. Okay? The way they handled a lot of cases is ridiculous. A lot of prosecutors know you're innocent, but they are told to push forward with the charges to get their conviction rate up so they can get promotions. You can't get promotions if you can't get a conviction rate. Most smart Commonwealth attorneys wind up going over to the other side, wind up being defense attorneys. I have lawyers calling me right now today about the corruption, about certain prosecutors over there. I don't want to say their name because we've been talking. I've talked to. These are high-profile attorneys. When I tell you high-profile attorneys, attorneys that the average person can't afford. We can't afford these type of attorneys, but I have attorneys calling me all the time about this. The Norfolk 4. I knew the Norfolk 4 was innocent, told them they were innocent, gave them the person who actually killed and raped that lady, and they prosecuted the Norfolk 4 anyway. Now, rape of a woman or a child is a street violation. It's straight up a street violation. When Anthony Juniper killed those two kids, her mama and her brother in Ocean View, that's a street violation, okay? I went in Tanner's Creek, and I told the guys out Tanner's Creek, none of these drugs are going to get sold until you find out who killed those two children in Ocean View. Till y'all tell us where Anthony Juniper is, none of these drugs will be able to get sold because the police are going to be out here every day. By the people knowing this was a street violation, they gave me the information on Anthony Juniper. They told me he was hiding out in the shoot park. They went in and arrested Anthony Juniper. He's on death row right now. Okay? That's a street violation. Okay? That's something that you cannot, anybody should not overlook. When a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old is shot in the head, everybody should want to help that case because it could have been your child. When a woman is raped and killed, everybody should want to help because that could be your girl, your wife, your mother, or your sister. There's certain street crimes that should not be overlooked. But other than that, all I did was get people out of jail and prison. And the system knew about it. Brent Johnson knew about it. I gave him thousands of dollars. Officer Glenn Ford, Detective Glenn Ford of Norfolk Homicide Division, I gave him thousands of dollars in the interview room, outside back of the POC, and in Greenbrier by the Sam's Club. So what I'm trying to say is the system is stacked against you, okay? There's no way that the police department should police the police department. There's no way any police department should have an internal affairs. I think that y'all should go to y'all city council meetings. Y'all should vote to defund the Norfolk Internal Affairs Division and get a citizen oversight committee to oversee the police department. It's the only way you're going to get fairness. You have to get civilians in there. Police are not going to arrest the police, not the way you want them to anyway. They're going to find reasons to get them off, especially the fraternal order of police. They are programmed to say our officers are innocent, and they're not innocent. Barry Gordon should be in jail right now for killing Seneca Darden. He got away with that. He was a K-9 officer who overstepped his boundaries several times, and got away with it. So what the people in Norfolk need to do is y'all need to start getting these officers' backgrounds. Y'all need to start going to the city council meetings. Y'all need to start getting things done. And don't let them table anything that y'all want to do. They like to table things to put it off to another meeting. Don't let them table it. They give you a certain amount of time to go up there and talk. You want to get rid of Norfolk Internal Affairs. You want to get rid of the Internal Affairs Division. And the reason why you want to get rid of the Internal Affairs Division is because the police should not police the police. It doesn't work like that. That's like your mother policing you after you have been arrested, and everybody's supposed to believe your mother's telling the truth about you. It doesn't work like that. I was in court, in federal court one day. The judge that was on my case was Judge Rebecca Beach Smith in federal court on Granby Street in Norfolk. I had people in there speaking for me and things. I had a U.S. Secret Service agent come from Washington, D.C. that was on George Bush's detail and speak highly of me, not knowing that his ex-partner is corrupt. Not knowing his ex-partner is corrupt. I was sorry he had to be there, but I was glad that he got to see firsthand what was going on. Now, to everyone out there that owns a firearm, if your gun is made outside of the state of Virginia, the feds can arrest you for that and call that an interstate commerce violation under Code 922G. It's a charge where they can say that gun came across state lines, and they can arrest you for that, even though you own this gun legally. So the feds have loopholes to arrest anybody at any time they want. Most guns are not made in Virginia, but they can do that. They can come and get you for violations. Now, how I got taken down is two people set me up. Two people set me up, and the streets were devastated that I was locked up. Okay, they wouldn't even give me bond. When the police arrested me, I had nothing but captains, lieutenants, the police chief, commander, and prosecutors, ATF, FBI arrest me. No regular officers. There were no regular officers there. Everyone had high-ranking status. Everyone. Because they knew I had a connection in the police department. They knew I knew a lot. Now, one officer that was there at the scene, T.C. Williams, is going to tell me, Lieutenant T.C. Williams is going to tell me, remember my face. How can I forget your face and I've been paying you? So he got away with it. The only one that didn't get away with it was Officer Glenn Ford. He was Detective Glenn Ford of the Norfolk Homicide Division. He was there almost 30 years. Okay. They got put out of homicide behind the Benny Lavelle and Dedrick Leary case by falsifying evidence. Okay. But they got back into the homicide division somehow. I don't know, but they did. I've had Norfolk police officers. I've had Suffolk police. I've had Chesapeake, Virginia Beach police call me sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning to help them that could potentially end their career calling me. Why are they calling me? I have no idea. But they were. I saved numerous officers' careers. And the only reason why I did that is because I was dirty myself. I was getting people out of jail. I didn't know what anyone knew. Okay? I've saved people's life out there. I've got people that were going to get life sentences are home. People that were going to get 20 or 30 years are home. Okay? It cost them, but it's worth it. I used to meet people in the mall, Military Circle Mall, and get bags of money. And take bags of money to the POC. Bags of money. I don't know if this made the news and, or whatever. But a lot of stuff they try to cover up. I know you have 3 news stations there, but one news station favors the police department. Okay? One news station favors the police department. So they're not going to air anything negative about the police department. Commonwealth Attorney's Office, Judge's Office. Okay? When I tell you that the Norfolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office is corrupt, it starts with Greg Underwood. Okay? Greg Underwood, Phil Evans, Brent Johnson should not even be there anymore, if they are there. They shouldn't be there. I understand Judge Rutherford is dead or either retired. He should have been gone a long time ago. When the black lady, Miss Jones, was sentencing people to 12 months every time in lower district court, they got rid of her. But they wouldn't get rid of this white judge, Judge Rutherford, that was giving blacks life sentences in circuit court. The system is stacked against you. It's simple as that. This black judge, Judge Jones, did everything she could to please the white people. Everything she could. And they got rid of her. They got rid of her. Meanwhile, Judge Rutherford is giving people life sentences for crimes they should get 10 years for, 5 years for. It's as simple as that. And, like I said, vice and narcotics, I've paid them so many times it don't make any sense. I don't sell drugs, but I was in a position to help other people, and I did what I had to do. Now, the money didn't come from me, but it came through me, okay? I used to get caught on my motorcycle doing crazy things. If I buy an officer a bottle of Jack Daniels, I'm good. I'm good. It's the system is corrupt. The system can't police the people if it can't police itself. Just as simple as that. And one of the things that really pissed me off, and they kept me from this, was when Officer Seneca Darden got killed. And they knew he was doing undercover detail in that area. And lied and said that he held his gun to the side like a street thug does, which was false information. And he shot him 4 times in the back. And he got away with it. He got away with it because it was a white officer killing a black officer. It's as simple as that. Had the tables been turned, Seneca would have been in prison for the rest of his life. He'd have been in prison for the rest of his life. And what I'm trying to explain to y'all is a lot of things that y'all don't know that y'all fall into the trap of every day. Every day. We didn't do violent crime. We wouldn't help anyone with violent crime because their violent crime had victims. Okay? Victims like to give impact statements. Judges frown on helping someone who's done a crime of violence. So that was out of the question. We wouldn't help anyone with violent crime. The gun that I was arrested for, I purchased from a police officer, brand new gun. And because it was made in Miami, Florida, they had a way to get a search warrant and charge me with an interstate commerce violation, which is a civil offense, but I still had to do time for that charge, for that gun that I bought from a police officer. Brand new in the box. Okay, brand new in the box. And the attorneys are calling me every day. I got attorneys calling me. I got the Innocence Project calling me. I got people calling me all the time for my help. And what's going on in the city of Norfolk? Well, what's going on? I don't know what's going to happen when this video surfaces, but I think everyone needs to understand that the system is stacked against you. Okay, they're targeting you. This is what they do. This is what they do. They call blacks thugs. This is what they do. They look for a reason to shoot you. This is what they do. A good officer never uses his gun. Never. They never use their gun. Officers that constantly use their gun are officers that want to use their gun. Remember that. You give them a reason, they want to kill you. That's as simple as that. When you ride out here in these cars with no license, no insurance, or no city sticker, that's what they want. This is what they're looking for. They don't ride in Ghent looking for expired stickers. They don't ride in Ocean View anymore looking for expired stickers. They don't ride in Larchmont looking for expired stickers, or Granby Street behind DePaul Hospital in that area is looking for expired stickers. They ride in the low-income areas. This is what they do. They want to get people that already don't have money fines, knowing you can't pay it. This is what they do. And, you know, y'all got to wake up. You got to wake up. You got to get out there, get yours the legal way, and stay out the way. Because they out there looking for you every day. And what's sad about it is Greg Underwood, who's a black prosecutor, he knows this. He lets it happen. Brent Johnson is looking for you. He talks shit all the time. But he's ignorant. He's ignorant. Because he's in the National Guard, that don't make him nobody special. He's ignorant. Okay? Phil Evans, I really don't know too much about him, but I know he was the go-to guy. Okay? Steve Ballard, I think his name is Steve Ballard with Bison Narcotics. I've paid him. T.C. Williams, I've paid him. Hargett and Everett, I've paid them. As a matter of fact, Officer Hargett came to me to save his career because Hargett has a habit of putting his hands on women. He likes to assault women, whether sexually or physically. He will punch a woman in the stomach in a heartbeat. I've had women come to me crying because Hargett done assaulted them, has assaulted them. So Hargett caught me one day, circuit court, asked me, can I help him out? They're coming after his job. You know, the only reason I helped him because the girls was willing to drop the charges because they felt that he was going to retaliate. That's the only reason why I went to bed, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't have. If I know now, what I know now, I wish I had known then, okay? I was out there getting money in a way without selling drugs. And I was getting it every day. I was making money every day. My phone constantly rang all the time. I need help. I need help. My client needs help. So what I'm telling y'all is stay out the way. They're coming. The way to fight back is to go to the city council meetings. And y'all have to demand a change. Get rid of Norfolk Internal Affairs. Defund it. Vote to defund Norfolk's Internal Affairs. The police should not police the police. Get you a civilian oversight committee to police the police. The only way it's going to work.